Hello, everybody. We're back with Ghostpia again. We're going to continue reading. Let's see here. That's right. We tried to go to the other side. Pacifica points to the ever-expansive snow desert. The garbage pile is pretty high, so you can see far into the distance from here. Right. That's why Anya remodeled the car. That was amazing. Well, my boss helps me with pretty much everything for that. I guess we're not going to touch the topic of what happened afterwards at all, after all. So I guess that's for the best. I wonder if anything's on the other side. Maybe there isn't anything. But maybe there is. We'll have to go to find out. The snow desert softly sparkles as it reflects the town's lights. We all look at it silently. So, about the new girl. Pacifica breaks the silence. Actually, I think I had a more fancy voice for her, didn't I? I'm going to try that. I hope we can get along with her. She sounds somewhat sad, but not reluctant. Lonely. Yes, that's the word. That's how I'd describe the look on her face. I'm sure she'll be nice. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Anya speaks up as if to assuage her concerns. She's got a similar look on her face. It makes me worry if I should too. There's still plenty of time before dawn. We all just sit down and gaze across the desert for a while. I can't peel my eyes off of the black and white horizon. It's almost spellbinding. Maybe we're on an island. A small island in the middle of a white snow desert sea. Help isn't coming. Because beyond the sea, civilization has already fallen. I smile at the strange thought, a smile of relief, even though the thought isn't relieving at all. I can sense Pacifica smiling, and eventually Anya smiles too, as if unable to handle the peer pressure. I guess it's obvious that I'm smiling, but it doesn't feel bad at all. I try to play it cool and keep staring out across the sea. The other two watch as well. It's a beautiful night. We may be sitting in piles of garbage, but it feels like a beautiful night, nonetheless. About 60 out of 100. If I were to write today, that's about how high I'd rate it. That said, I give my rating the moment I crawl into bed, so my opinion may be a little skewed. I yawn. I sit up and take a sip of water from the plastic bottle at my bedside, a bottle I had just picked up earlier. The cold sensation passes down my throat. I let out another sigh. I'm too tired to even feel tired. So tired of thinking. I don't even want to think about being tired of thinking. That's how pathetic I feel. We were able to pick up all sorts of party goods, load them into a bike trailer we found lying there, and carry them off to Pacifica's place. Pacifica wanted to take home a small, stylish sofa, but got into a little argument when Anya said it was out of the question. I wanted to reflect on what happened today, but the moment I laid down on my bed, I thought, nope, not happening. I try stretching, but to no avail. It only makes it worse, if anything. The intense sleepiness quickly crushes my consciousness. So quickly, I don't even have time to think about what crushing a consciousness means. Good night. The following is Sayoko's attempt of recalling her memories. Okay, go. Let's go. The red-headed girl steps on the gas. The car starts. An angry man in priest robes glares at the car from behind. I'm getting excited. I'm not sure. Me too. The girl with the blonde hair and the girl nuzzle their faces against each other. They're very close with each other. Any ways look, the town's something. Another memory. In the middle of the snow desert, 3 girls. Why did blank? Who blanked? Sayoko, behind you! Why would... Gunshot. Am I next? Sorry, but you gotta blank quick, or... Gunshot. Yet another memory, an awfully vague one. The black-haired girl arrives in the middle of the plaza, dragging 2 corpses behind her. The corpses of the blonde girl and the red-headed girl. Someone help! Please help them! A crowd gathers in the blink of an eye. Brawny men surround the black-haired girl. The red-headed girl and the blonde girl arrive on the scene, perhaps having revived at the garbage dump. The crowd makes way. The red-headed girl vomits. The blonde girl pats her on the back and breaks down crying. The corpses wither away without a sound. They mummify and fast forward, leaving nothing but bones. The men lunge at the black-haired girl. End of memory. The plaza is covered in the blood of ghosts. That's apparently what happens to ghosts when they die. Their fleeting corpses quickly begin to wither away. They grow cold from the head down. I can't believe the beast-like roar coming out of my own mouth. Even if I try to keep it in check, the rough breathing keeps spilling out. It irritates me. In retaliation, I trample on one of the broken-necked corpses at my feet. The barely intact neck makes a nice squishing sound when I stomp through it onto the ground. I look up to see Pacifica and Anya staring blankly at me. Their eyes are empty, as if they're not even looking at anything. My mind is completely blank, but I do know that I've lost everything. I try to escape. I turn my back to them and try to run away, and right behind me stands an unfamiliar girl. You must be lonely. Lonely. That's what the girl said. That's the one word I wanted to say more than anyone else. I feel as if I cried. Maybe I really did cry this time. But before I can check, the dream ends. Wow. And now a city pop track. So, I guess I'll utilize this space to say my opinions on episode 1. This is a very mysterious visual novel. Not 100% certain about how the world that these girls live in works, and it seems like a lot of thought is put into it. It's just still very foggy, still very misty, shrouded in mystery, and I get the sense that there's this sad story behind it all that will make sense, hopefully make sense by the end of everything. That was the end of Chapter 1, Season 1, well, Episode 1, actually. That was called There's a New Townsperson in Town. So we have quite a bit of time. I'm going to go ahead and start the beginning of episode 2, the day of the Nameless Anonymous's birthday party. We'll probably meet that blue-haired girl in this chapter. Do I want to start reading from episode 2? Resume. It's like a dream. That's supposed to mean something good, right? As in, I never expected a present like this. It's like a dream. In any case, I'm currently in a room even fancier than Pacifica's place. The fireplace is so warm, and it's a different sort of warmth compared to electric heating. I'm eating ham. We all are, actually. There's a ham as big as my head on the table, and we're eating it with gusto for some reason. The world is a silence save for the clattering of tableware, the chewing of ham, and the occasional crackling of firewood. It's almost as if everything outside this room has been annihilated and the world exists only for us to eat ham. And when I say us, I mean me, an unfamiliar girl, and a crying nun with a bloody nose. She's the one eating the most. The situation is very much like a dream. The softness of the high pile rug seems to numb my senses. It's like a dream. I ponder that thought again. This situation we're in is indeed like a dream. But is that a good thing? Certainly doesn't feel like a good thing. At least that's what I think to myself as I prod the nun's temple with my pistol. What is going on? Seems like episode 2 is going to introduce some new characters. Quite a few new characters, perhaps. I remembered something. Just that it happened. I didn't remember how I felt about it or anything. It was as if I were simply watching a slideshow in an empty audiovisual room, completely disinterested. Huh? Did that happen? For real? As soon as I start to question it, my body feels like it's floating. My limbs clench for something to grab onto, and then I find myself on my bed. I had woken up. Was that a dream? That was strange. I space out for a while, but then I remember what I have to do and get out of bed. I gotta go to Pacifica's place. Pacifica wanted to throw a welcome party for the new ghost in town, which I thought was an interesting idea. Pacifica also wanted to patch things up between me, her, and Anya. My outfit is simple. It didn't take me long to get ready. I just need to put on my coat and I'm good to go. That's one lackadaisical, amnesiac ghost ready to go. But when I grab the doorknob, it feels much chillier than usual. I hope I can start filling the void inside me, at least a little. Hopefully I'm not so empty that the wind blows me away. I head outside. It's been a long time since I've gone outside during peak ghost hours instead of leaving close to dawn. In fact, it's been so long I've forgotten when the last time was, which means it might as well be my first time. As expected, the ghosts are taking their distance from me, so I walk as quietly as I can, even trying to stifle the sound of my steps in the snow. I try my best to smile and be the friendliest ghost I can be. I'm trying to interact with other ghosts more, so I need to get used to it. And I need them to get used to me. I don't know if I can, but I have to try. I still hate it when people look at me, though, even if they don't say anything. It makes my skin tingle. It's as if gazes have mass. In fact, gazes are kind of like ghosts. Not exactly sure how to elaborate on that thought, but they just are. Well, in any case, it looks like it'll take quite a bit of time for me to get used to walking around in public. Once I take a turn off of Main Street and get to a somewhat quiet residential area, I instantly feel relieved. It's much easier for me to walk when there aren't many people around. Pacifica's house is at the end of this long street. Almost there. The path to Pacifica's house requires passing through Main Street. It's always a little tough getting here. I wish Anya could have picked me up. She can drive. But ever since that incident, I think it's best not to get her in a car. That said, if she still had that car and gave me a ride, that'd be nice. I know it's an unreasonable hope, but I'm free to imagine. If I can imagine things like that, then I guess I'm relatively calm. I'm suddenly caught off guard when someone calls out to me. I nearly jump out of my skin, and that's when I realize how careless I had been. You got the time, little missy? This next character is a bit of a change of pace. A scraggly voice calls out to me like the sound of someone prying open the rusty trunk of a totaled car. It's so grating and abrupt, it makes me shiver a bit. It's the old man. Yes, old man, I do have time. I give him a weird answer without thinking. How embarrassing. It's because he caught me off guard. I mean, what time is it? I suppose I misplaced them their wristwatch. The owner of the voice is sitting on the walkway, leaning on the side of a building with his legs out. If I had to describe the old man in one word, that'd be dirty. He's literally sitting on dirt, so he looks even dirtier. It's hard to fathom it in a town like this, but he appears to be homeless. If he doesn't have a home, he probably doesn't have a bathtub either. That said, I've got both a home and a bathtub, and I rarely bathe, so I guess I'm not one to talk. So, do I look this disgusting to other people? How do I explain this? This town doesn't do clocks. The very concept of the passage of time doesn't exist here, so we don't have calendars or clocks. We just have a physiological sense of what time it is, I guess. Never really thought about it. Maybe it's just me being stupid and everyone else does indeed have clocks and schedules to keep up with. I feel kinda lonely when I think about it like that. Could have sworn I had it, but it's gone now. What a bummer. I like his earmuffs. It was always accurate and liable. Liable. Told me when it was waking time, lunchtime, and that time, of course. The old man's accent is so thick it's a little hard for me to understand. When he stops talking, it gets real quiet. I can hear the bustling of Main Street in the distance. It's like the roar of waves. My ears start to ring. Honestly, I don't feel like talking for long. I could just run away from it all, but I want to be a good and proper ghost. So, I decide to answer him honestly. I don't have a watch, so ask someone else, please. Okay, bye. I start walking before I finish talking. Hold it right there! Hold it right there! There. I freeze at his sudden yell. My wife said she'd be back by 3 o'clock. That's what she said, so I wait, but she ain't come. So at 3, I go looking for her, but she ain't nowhere to be found. Won't my wife be back soon? The kid came back, so I think. Someone's holding her back, right? That priest guy was all, like, annoyed and such, so really? So now I know, like I always ever knew. Someone must have stole my hair wristwatch. I'm scared, and I've got a feeling that things are only gonna get worse. My wife just said, "You're the culprit." He's clearly not in his right mind. But I think we're somewhat alike, in a way. No, it wasn't me. We've both lost something, but I'm not sure what. It's a cruel irony to wander around looking for something when you don't even know what it is you're looking for. It's incredibly frightening to think that he and I look alike to those around us. Zoya wouldn't lie to me. Why, I oughta learn ya a lesson. As I give him a look of pity, I imagine the very same look being pointed at me by Pacifica or Anya. Just thinking about it is so... I lose my footing. It's been ages since I've last felt an earthquake. Obviously, it's all in my head. This town's never had an earthquake. Loud, oh gosh, how do I even... I don't know why this of all things befuddles me. Booyah! For some reason, seriously, why? The elderly man strips off his clothes and lunges at me. I barely dodge, but what if I didn't react in time? I shudder at the thought. I gotta run. I slip past the elderly man and head to Main Street. It's not a place I'd like to go, but it's much better than sticking around here. I'm seriously starting to worry that I've been sealed away in a world with just me and the elderly man. I can hear rough breathing approaching from behind. I'm so dizzy I can't get proper footing. The narrow path seems like an infinite corridor. This town only has 1,024 people, so it's not a surprise that the population density is low. Not sure why that thought passed through my head. I guess my brain just wants to escape from reality. By the time I leap out into the bustling Main Street, I'm out of breath despite not having run that long of a distance. I don't scream for help. I wanted to, but I hesitate at the last moment. The ghosts look at me with fear in their eyes since I rushed so suddenly out onto Main Street. I feel like this has happened before. I can suddenly feel the cold snow through my boots again. My nose tingles. The elderly man catches up to me wearing just his undershirt. Ha 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 ha. I finally gotcha. Please stop already. I shout. Part of my brain, or rather a part of me, says, you should have just ignored him from the start. The elderly man stops and stares. Did my shouting catch him off guard? What? The old man's eyes begin to water, and it's not because of the snow. He's crying. Why am I alone? Why won't nobody love me? He's crying and crying. His cries echo even louder than my shout. What's his problem? I want to know. I really do. This is really uncomfortable. It's like when someone points out something that you just can't unthink. Starting to get nervous here. I don't know. I avert my eyes and walk away. I've taken a bit of a detour, but Pacifica's house isn't too far away. And this time, I'll make sure to ignore everyone. The elderly man stops crying. When I start walking, the path clears. Crunch, crunch, the snow crackles underfoot. The ghosts chatter, their voices masked by that faint sound. I keep walking. I know the answers to your questions, little missy. I don't stop walking. Crunch, crunch. He's bluffing. I'll tell you the town's secrets. Don't stop walking, you idiot. You want to know why you're here and what exactly this town is, don't you, little missy? I turn. Oh boy. I turned around, didn't I? A minor blunder. The whispers of the ghosts and all the other various smaller sounds seemed to fade into the distance, as if I had turned down the volume knob on the TV little by little. I can even hear a static noise deep within my ears. The elderly man notices my piqued interest and hums to himself in satisfaction. The glitter in his eyes is somewhat frightening, but also somewhat intriguing, which is why I can't just look away. Everyone, and I mean everyone's gotten used to it. But this here town's strange, don't you think? The noise in my ears gets louder. I think it's strange, and so do you. We the same. No. I don't want to be put on the same level as this elderly man, but that's not the only thing that's making me uncomfortable. But we are alike. Don't you think it's time we joined hands? I'm scared, but why? It's probably because I'm not mentally prepared to hear the answers to the questions I've always had. Now that they're within grasp, I'm faltering. Hello everyone, took a short break and now I'm back. I'm scared, but why? It's probably because I'm not mentally prepared to hear the answers to the questions I've always had. Now that they're within grasp, I'm faltering. Together we can put an end to this here sealed away era. It's a win-win situation, see? I'm curious, but I don't want to know. You know, it's like when someone at school says they know your crush's crush. In the worst case scenario, that curiosity could make me turn out like him. The elderly man takes a step forward. He reaches his arms out, as if offering me salvation. Unfortunately, deep down in my heart somewhere, I do want salvation. So what do you say? The noise grows louder. No, please, no. I reject him twice for good measure, because I almost impulsively took him up on his offer. Why not? It's simple, you know? He takes another step forward. He grabs my hands. His hands are so much bigger than mine, and they're warmer than they look. I know. Why don't you be my daughter? Snap. What he said just now snaps me wide awake, as if I had woken up from a dream. Elderly man's weird undershirt is clearly abnormal mental state. My loneliness. Well, things are a bit backward from how I planned, but ish no biggie. Ish no biggie. He starts swinging my hands around as if giving me a double handshake. Knowing my daughter loving honey, she's sure to come home if I bring home a daughter. Or else there ain't no God. Is this some sort of scam? Maybe it isn't. But I'm getting really annoyed now. Sorry, but I've gotta go. You can't go. He won't let go. His grip is surprisingly tight for an elderly man. Let go. No, I ain't ever letting go. Not again. I can't help you. I just need someone. Anyone. It don't matter who. Someone. Anyone. Doesn't matter who. Those words cut deep. And that's why. Oh, I have no idea how to say that. I hurl the elderly man away without even thinking about it. Somehow, I just know that if someone's gripping your hands and in your face and they just so happen to be taller and lighter than you, they're easy to throw down. But when did I learn that? The elderly man's back crushes against the wall of the building. He says only that before losing consciousness. If it doesn't matter who it is, then pick someone. Anyone other than me. He probably can't hear me, but I just wanted to say that. I feel a bit more courageous now. But that must have lost me some points with the town's ghosts again. I thought I'd be more shaken after injuring someone, but oddly enough, I'm not that shook. I'm calm enough to walk and think about how long it'll take for me to get to Pacifica's, and if word of this incident will spread. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Oh right, the new ghost should be here by now. Crunch, crunch. I'm sure Anya's gonna talk about me in an exaggerated way, and Pacifica will rebuke her for it. Crunch, crunch. And that's when I come in, calling Anya names like Poopy Doo-Doo Head, and Pacifica will agree with me. I wonder if the new girl will laugh. I bet she will. Crunch. I can't wait to see them all. A siren coming from behind. No way. I think to myself, only for the police car to pull over behind me. For crying out loud. The audio feedback of a megaphone screeches. This is the police. You stop right there and turn around, slowly. Megaphones always give voices a particular grating sound. Gee, officer. Didn't know there was a speed limit for pedestrians. If only I could throw out a light-hearted joke like that. I hesitate for a few seconds before turning around, and as a meaningless token of defiance, I turn around at a normal pace instead of slowly. As a coward, that's about as much resistance as I can muster. But that's enough resistance for the man to pull out his gun as soon as he comes within eyesight of me. He's even making sure to partially hide behind the cover of his car door. Look, I don't have a gun or anything, okay? Though I guess I can't help it since I'm an ex-convict. I understand, but that doesn't make it any better. Okay, boys, it's your first job in 9,999 years, so get ready. The location's at... He's probably calling for reinforcements on the police radio. I wish he'd cut it out, but unfortunately all I can do is watch. Over. The suspect is... the ninja. The ninja? Again with the ninja talk. Why do they think I'm a ninja? I'm not a Oh, just turn yourself in, please. We don't want to have to do anything either, you know? Just want to talk. I'm pretty sure talking counts as anything. I almost forgot about it, but that's how cops are. They have this annoying way of acting all buddy-buddy. It's annoying, yeah, but in a way, that brings me back. Brings me back to terrible times, that is. I didn't do anything wrong. But there was a report, you know. You assaulted an elderly man, didn't you? I didn't do anything, and I've got somewhere I need to go, so if you'll please excuse me. Okay, so how do you explain the elderly man slumped out over there? Self-defense? Everyone guilty of excessive force claims self-defense, you know. But this is a no-buts situation. But this is a no-but situation. Situation kind of, but... This waste of time sluggishly drags on. Sir! Here comes the police. Here come the police. Where is she? Rushing in from the back alleys. Where's the ninja? One of these is a little different from the others. 3 uniformed officers file into formation. Oh, it took you boys long enough. From 3 different paths at the same time. Now then, you mind taking a little trip with us to the station? When their superior gives the word, the officers casually disperse. They block access to the back alleys, trying to prevent me from escaping. Surrounding me. As if I'm a criminal. Or perhaps a criminal ninja, to be specific. 2 of them seem like they're just itching to go. The welcome party must have started already. Maybe they're sad I'm not there, maybe they're mad. But it's not my fault. When I think about it like that, I start to feel the irritation boiling up from the pit of my stomach mixed in with some other emotions. I want to run away from here. Sorry, but I've got to go. I repeat myself. When I take a step forward, one of the officers takes out his gun as if by reflex. Fast, precise movements, almost like clockwork. It seems to set off a chain reaction as the other 2 officers also draw their guns. I don't have time for this. So I can't stop now. One officer stands in my way, pointing his gun at me. But I still don't stop. I'll shoot. I mean it. You'll shoot? And? I ask that question, and then take another step forward. He shoots his gun. It doesn't hit me. Dodging gunfire isn't hard as long as you pay attention to the trigger finger and the way the muzzle's pointing. As someone once said, you can't dodge a bullet, but you can dodge a gun. At least, I think someone said that. Is it true, though? I get the feeling that didn't really happen. In any case, I snatch the officer's gun and kick him in the gut, knocking him out. Underneath his thick clothes and thin flesh, I can feel his bones break through the tips of my shoes. A ninja. You think I'm a ninja, huh? Then you better not complain when I act all ninja-like. You want me to be a ninja so bad? Then fine, I'll be your ninja. You got a problem with that? Where did she get all this gumption all of a sudden? After a moment's delay, the guns start firing one after another. I leap. Once the officers have their sights narrowed to aim for just a second, it'll probably look like I teleported to them. But a second is all I need. Before they can find where the ninja vanished to, I swoop down and slam my foot into another officer's head, knocking them out. I follow up by training my sights on the third officer midair and shoot out both his kneecaps, unable to stop the momentum of the bullets. His bones and flesh tear open like a pair of red roses. Only the police chief remains. He seems to be prepping something behind the cover of the police car door. Is that the awkward pump action of a shotgun I hear? My suspicions are confirmed when I see him awkwardly point a muzzle through the tinted glass. But I don't stop. I hold up one of the felled officers as a human shield as I advance. Do you dare shoot your ally as he still breathes? He dares. I admire your guts, Chief. The police car window shatters, the glass shards twinkle as they dance through the air. Do you forget that I can leap, now that you have nothing to show for your guts and his allies' guts are showing for nothing? As I dodge the wide spread of shotgun pellets, I look down at the astonished face of the chief. I brace the lower half of my body for the landing. Why do you look so surprised? This is what ninjas do, isn't it? It's your own fault. I know I've always wanted to dream, but this is pretty much a nightmare. Before I realize it, I hear that sound in my ears again. My nerves are right on the edge. The soles of my shoes touch the ground. Thankfully, I don't slip on the snow. This is your own fault. Way before he can finish pumping his semi-auto shotgun again, I've got my gun pushed right up against the chief's temple. Please put that thing down. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You don't have to tell him twice. Yes, ma'am. The chief lets go of his shotgun. He also relinquishes his pistol without me even having to ask. What a reasonable guy. I kick the guns away. It wasn't my fault. Yeah, I believe you, really, but the priest... At first I'm caught off guard to hear that name, but it makes sense when you realize the priest has the police in the palm of his hand. He told us to protect the town if the ninja ever got violent. Is the priest the one who labeled me a ninja? Yeah, maybe, I guess. I lower the gun. I put it in my pocket. I dust off my hands. Tell the priest he can go to hell. Huh? That makes twice today that I've sent a guy flying through the air. Sand Dollar. The police investigator yells the name of an obscure marine organism before falling unconscious, just like you do. He's heavier than the elderly man, but I still pull it off. Guess that's one more reason to hate the church. I toss the officers' guns into the trash and start heading towards Pacifica's once again. There's nothing odd in particular about the rest of my journey. And I'm not just saying that because of how bizarre the journey has been so far. I just mean I keep walking, make progress, and eventually reach my destination. Pacifica's house is a little bit away from the center of town, but none of that really matters now that I'm here. It's a splendid house that even I can appreciate. It's different in every way from my apartment. It's spacious, warm, and standalone. You'd expect a rich, friendly family to live here. And yet Pacifica lives here by herself, but then again, so does every other ghost in town without exception. There's a weather-beaten sofa sitting out in front of the house, a ghost man sitting in it. He looks away as if I'm an eyesore. I don't remember this sofa, but maybe it just slipped my mind. It strikes me as strange that it's sitting outside, all exposed to the elements. Then again, this whole town is weird at its core, so strange is nothing out of the ordinary. Now that I think about it, I remember this being the sofa Pacifica picked up from the garbage dump when we did garbage collection today. I'm half relieved that I remembered and half sad that I forgot. Positive and the negative cancel out to zero inside my heart. I ignore the man and head to the door. After just a second of hesitation, I ring the bell. For an expensive-looking house, the doorbell sounds surprisingly cheap. After a moment of silence, the door opens abruptly. The thick panel of wood is almost perfectly soundproof, preventing me from hearing anything that might be going on inside. Yo. Contrary to my expectations, it's Anya who shows up rather than Pacifica. Oh, hello? I feel like I've stumbled at the first step. I panic a little, but just a little, so I'm able to act natural. Nice weather we're having. It's night and snowing. Oh. Oh. I stumble, stagger, and fall flat on my face. Metaphorically speaking, not physically. That's just what it feels like. It kinda hurts. Well, whatever. Come in. We've got coffee, black tea, and some weird herbal tea or whatever. What would you like? Anya heads back inside, beckoning me in. I follow and shut the bulky door behind me. The various sounds of the street suddenly fade into the distance, even sounds I didn't realize were there until they're gone. I went with coffee, 1 sugar. Why are the drinks at this girl's house so good? They must be expensive, so bougie. Saying that, Anya leads me through the hallway towards the living room. There's a nostalgic smell, the smell of town's ghosts, a sweet, heavy smell reminiscent of a honey-scented candle. Since they disappear in the sun, sometimes it feels like the only real thing about them is their smell. When I enter the living room, the smell gets even stronger. The room is decorated colorfully and cheerfully for the welcome party. There's a fireplace, but it's just for show. The room is actually heated by a large, noisy heater. I hesitate before addressing Anya. Oh, you just want hot water? Sometimes you just want to drink plain hot water to feel something, huh? No, not that. Anya can be kind of dense sometimes. Not that there is anything wrong with that. It's just how she is. You just gotta be direct with her. Where's Pacifica? Oh, she just went to go pick up the new girl. She went to go pick up the new girl. Oh, I guess I jumped the gun then. Thought Pacifica had already started the welcome party. Am I late? Well, you are pretty late, but I think Pacifica's facing some issues on her end, too. I'm a little worried that it's my fault since my violent rampage could have caused delays elsewhere in town. Speaking of my violent rampage, I wonder if Anya will hear about it soon. Pacifica's got ears everywhere, so she might have heard about it already. I feel dejected. I don't want to think about the subject. So let's switch gears. About how late am I? Relatively. Meaning? Look, if we had an accurate sense of time, we wouldn't say things like 9,999 years. I slip up again. But I guess the positives and negatives cancel out to 0 again. Because now I know for sure that the elderly man's idea of 3 o'clock is nowhere to be found. I suppose you're right. Here. Anya hands me a mug. The coffee inside it is so pitch black that it almost looks like tar. You're not gonna say you don't want any, right? You used to drink this a lot after all. Thank you. I drink it down. It seems sweeter than what I drank yesterday. Is it good? Probably. What's that supposed to mean? Anyway, here. Anya hands me a tin can the size of a matchbox. Thank you. Looks like they're mint-flavored tablets, which I don't think is a good match for coffee, so I put them in my pocket. Anya sits back on the sofa looking pensive, but not angry. At least that's what it looks like to me. She's got a mug in hand, just like me. She stares at the surface of the black liquid. I stand at the entrance of the room, watching her. I forgot to ask where to hang my coat. Say. Anya looks up. I start to worry that I've been staring too much at her. Yes? Sorry if we're bothering you. Bothering me about what? That's what I should have asked, but I'm a little too late. Anya starts talking again before I say anything. If we're not bothering you, then that's fine, but I don't want to be a bother. It's just a lose-lose situation all around. Anya talks in intermittent bursts. So it takes me a moment to figure out what she's talking about. Are you talking about calling me over here? If it's a bother, then I'm sorry. You don't look like you're enjoying yourself too much, and you look like you hate it when I talk. I just want you to believe me when I say there's no hard feelings or anything. I feel a little hopeless, though I don't know if hopelessness is something you can feel just a little of. I feel like just a teensy tiny part of your heart has been crushed. It feels like just a teensy tiny part of your heart has been crushed. Overall, you might not be that hurt, but you feel hopeless in that small aspect. It's not like I hate being here with you. I say that loud and clear. I swear it. I suppose the obvious explanation here is that I'm lacking in sociability. I should have smiled more. I should have come here sooner. Anya doesn't know about that scuffle I had outside, so she thinks I just dragged my feet to get here. I don't hate it at all. Okay, so I'm going to stop it right here. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, we will continue again soon. I don't know how far exactly we are into episode 2. I really like the main character. I feel like she is multidimensional. I'm a little confused sometimes at her actions and what she's really about, I guess. She seems much stronger than she may have come across in episode 1, but I also feel like some of what is happening is fantastical or based upon what the ghosts want to see. For example, the old man and the police officer. It reminds me a little bit of The Sixth Sense, in that we have these ghosts and they had their own experiences when they were alive. And, you're not entirely sure how much is based off of illusions and what captivated them when they were alive, and it keeps them in bondage in a sense. And the heroine, I feel like she seems to be on a quest to really understand what is going on with herself and what happened with she and her friends and where she stands in the world and what she wants. And I'm also curious about the priest character. He's kind of, it would seem he's meant to be a tyrannical figure that may have been involved in the situation involving the girls. I didn't read too far ahead of this at all, so I'm not certain about where the story is moving from here, but I'm definitely curious to continue. Thank you for being here with me and listening to this and watching this, and I always appreciate your comments and your thoughts, and it makes me very happy to read that stuff, and and I will have a new episode out soon. Thank you again. Goodbye for now.